President Trump's crazy Oval Office firing has Democrats calling lawyers. President Trump just took even more steps to secure free and fair elections this fall. Top Democrats on CNN are calling Trump tyrannical for wanting clean voter rolls and trying to control states. The FBI and Secret Service are on high alert as Iran openly admits they are plotting to kill President Trump before his term ends. Someone in Minnesota actually confessed and pled guilty to stealing millions of dollars from American tax workers. And a wild story, something that just happened for the very first time. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. Let's jump right in. President Trump just did something unexpected. And for people who care about real election integrity, it looks like exactly the right move. But I got to tell you, Democrats are furious and calling in law firm after law firm. Now, President Trump just fired every member of the Federal Election Assistance Commission, this little known Washington, D.C. agency that quietly helps run American elections. This commission was created back in 2002 by the political establishment through the Help America Vote Act, HAVA, signed by George W. Bush to modernize elections, push new voting machines, and hand out federal grant money to states. On paper, it's bipartisan. In reality, it's become a cozy club of DC career insiders and highly paid consultants, the same crowd that rubber-stamped electronic systems, loves mass mail-in ballots and drop boxes, and the same group that told us the 2020 election was the most secure election in American history. Trump walked in and said, "You're done." He terminated the 2 Democrat commissioners and accepted the resignation of the 1 Republican commissioner, leaving the EAC with 0 voting members just months before the midterm election. The media is screaming that he paralyzed a key election agency. Election integrity folks see this as something very different. A president finally drawing a line in the sand and saying the swamp does not move past this line. Well, now Democrats, they're hiring law firm after law firm to try to take on President Trump. For my audience, here's what this means. Trump is forcing Congress and the states to rethink who sits on that commission and what agenda they bring. No more automatic trust for the same people who oversaw the chaos. No more quiet approval of machines and rules you never voted for. This is Trump saying, if we're serious about fixing elections, we can't leave the keys with the very insiders who helped break the system in the first place. Well, over on CNN, this became the topic of discussion, and 2 of the top Democrats were actually arguing to allow states to keep their dirty voter rolls, illegal immigrants, dead people, people that have moved, and more. And then they say that President Trump trying to clean up the voter rolls because they are, yes, dirty and yes, bloated, is all to fulfill his fantasies of a 2020 stolen election. Listen to this.
Objection to voting rolls being as clean as they could be before an election?
No, and I trust states, as did the framers of the Constitution, to manage those elections.
And also going back to my question to you, Scott, hold on. Going back to my question to you, Scott, Congress passed a law in the early 2000s that establishes the process to check voter rolls. If Trump wants to change that process, he knows he's got to go through Congress. But instead of doing that, he's using coercion. He's even using DOJ to try to get some of these things through.
My problem with the voting roll complaint is that in state after state after state after state, we see local leadership unwilling to do anything to keep their voting rolls clean. We saw it, say, for instance, in the state of Oregon, where hundreds of thousands of fraudulent or non-existent voter registrations through some litigation had to be taken off the list. This is true in a lot of states. I don't understand the objection to having a clean voting roll, if for no other reason than to give the inhabitants of the state some confidence that people are keeping up with.
First of all, that's not the only issue at play here.
I agree.
He's trying to change laws that he has no business changing when it comes to how people are able to register to vote. That's the first thing. The second thing is this insistence on paper ballots is almost entirely due to Trump's fictional view of what happened in 2020, where he thinks that the voting machines were compromised. So
I'm so glad that CNN allows Scott Jennings to come on with some common sense. It's like, oh my gosh, what are you guys opposed to? Why are you so against clean voter rolls? How does that make President Trump tyrannical? How does that make him bad? How does that make it overreaching? Unbelievable. Well, former DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's personal life just crashed into the headlines in a way that even her toughest critics didn't see coming. According to new reports, Kristi Noem has officially filed for divorce from her husband, Brian Noem, after months of revelations about his secret cross-dressing online fetish activities and payments to adult sex performers. The Daily Mail and other published hundreds of alleged messages and photos showing Byron dressed up with large female breasts in a hot pink pantsuit and flesh-colored top, stuffed with balloons, interacting in something that they call bimboification. I guess it's a fetish where he had given out $25,000 of their family money. Whenever you think of Kristi Noem, whatever you think of her politically, her record as governor and Trump's Homeland Security was strong. She kept South Dakota open during COVID, refused statewide lockdown and mask mandates, took a strong stance on border security and federal overreach after she moved to DHS. She absolutely did an amazing job. In the end, her ego did get away from her. The photo shoots, $200 million on commercials with her on horses. But other than that, she did a great job, and her family's going through a lot. But she has filed for divorce and does not want to be married to her husband anymore. All right, now, after trying to ride out the scandal and asking for privacy and prayers, Noem has reportedly decided the marriage is done. There's no way to fix this. She just wants to move on. For a woman who built her brand on toughness, family, and security, ending things with her cross-dressing husband, whose behavior invited national security questions about blackmail, has left her in a very bad position. Now, speaking of intel, Secret Service, Homeland Security, and the FBI are on high alert right now because Iran has admitted to actively plotting killing the sitting president of the United States. And even President Trump has openly acknowledged this. They want him dead before the end of his second term. In an interview with the New York Post, President Trump said he is #1 on the kill list for Iran and confirms that he has left instructions for what should happen if Tehran ever succeeded. Without spelling out details, he indicated those instructions include a massive military response against Iran, essentially a kill switch, right? A finish the job if they assassinate me order. These comments follow weeks of intelligence warning. Israel provided DC insiders with intel. It does look like they want him dead. And after the funeral of Ali Khamenei, they want him dead even more. Now, U.S. agencies are not taking this lightly. Counterterrorism officially says they have been tracking multiple Iranian networks and have discussed attacks on Trump and other current and former senior officials, and that the threat level has escalated alongside Iran's missile and drone strike on U.S. bases and allies in the Gulf. The Secret Service has reportedly tightened Trump's security posture during the NATO summit and his travel schedule, while DHS and FBI are hunting for possible IRGC proxies and operatives here on native soil. For Trump, the political message is as blunt as the security one. He says Iran's leaders are malevolent, deranged individuals, and that if they ever got a nuclear weapon, this is proof that they would use it. Everybody pray for our president. We definitely do not want an American president killed. All right, now up in Minneapolis, we've got someone who has confessed and pled guilty. The first story is the Minneapolis daycare fraud case that Nick Shirley brought to the public. Fahima Eged Mohammed, CEO of Future Leaders Early Living near George Floyd Square, has now pled guilty to a massive scheme to steal $4.6 million from the Minnesota child care assistance program, and another $850,000 from the child nutrition funding. Oh, I guess 4.6 million is not enough. Hit him for another 850,000. Prosecutors say she submitted over 13,000 bogus claims, falsified certifying that she collected required copay from low-income families, and served tens of thousands of meals which never existed, never fed anybody. Her daycare was one of the Somali-run Nick Shirley exposed in his 41-minute video that went viral, where he walked through apparently empty facilities that were raking in millions of dollars in public cash. After that video, HHS froze roughly $185 million in child care funding to Minnesota, and federal agents from ICE, CBP, FBI, and DHS launched a multi-agency crackdown. Muhammad had already been indicted as part of the Feeding Our Future scandal. Now she's admitting, yes, I stole millions of dollars through childcare and fake meals. For everyone who said Nick Shirley was just chasing clicks, well, people are going to jail now because of his reporting. Also pray for that guy. We definitely want him to be kept safe. Men's testosterone levels are declining at an alarming rate, and lifestyle, diet, and environmental toxins are driving it. The result? Persistent fatigue, diminished strength, low libido, mood swings, and a loss of the vitality that makes you feel like yourself. Man's Edge from Neutronics Lab was built to fight back. It combines fenugreek, IGF-1, nitric oxide, and other powerful ingredients to support healthy testosterone levels naturally. Clinical research shows fenugreek alone can increase testosterone by up to 46%. And unlike traditional shots and powders, Man's Edge delivers up to 98% absorption, so every ingredient actually works. Even legendary boxer Roy Jones Jr. and Frank Stallone, the brother of Sylvester Stallone, have made it a part of their daily routine to stay on top of their game. Right now, sign up for AutoShip and save 50% off every order. Plus, get a free bottle of IGF-1 plus 300,000 with Long Jack. That's a serious offer for serious results. Visit neutroniclabs.com/Stephen and use Stephen for an additional 10% off your first order. Reclaim your edge. Start today. All right. The future is now. Something crazy has happened. I knew that this day was coming, but it's here now. In California, a team at UC San Diego has just used teleoperated humanoid robots to successfully perform surgery, a world first that could change medicine forever. In a preclinical trial, engineers and surgeons teamed up with a 5-foot humanoid robot nicknamed Sergi to remove a gallbladder from a large non-primate mammal, with a human surgeon assisting as the robot led the medical procedure. Then they went further. A second laparoscopic gallbladder removal was performed by 2 Sergi robots working side by side as a pure robot-to-robot team with no human operating in the room. These aren't fully autonomous machines. They are teleoperated androids that mimic human arms and wrists movements with extreme precision, letting surgeons work at a console while the robot does the cutting and the stitching. Lead researchers say this proves humanoid robots have a visible future in the medical surgery field, especially in dangerous war zones, rural hospitals, or where they lack specialists. So we're not at a human patient just yet, but we're definitely heading that way. It wouldn't shock me within a couple of years if you literally have Dr. Robot or Dr. Surgery or whatever performing some kind of medical procedure on you, not an actual human doctor. So the future's here, folks. Pretty crazy, right? Dome origato, Mr. Dr. Roboto. It's coming. All right, I hope you found value in this video. I kept it short on purpose. I love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. I'll be on tomorrow and Sunday. Stay amazing.